I refused to pay for my younger brother's wedding and told him exactly why. We used to be very close, but our relationship completely changed as we grew up. Samir was irresponsible by nature and believed it was my job to bail him out of every mess. Slowly, I realized I wasn't an older brother to him anymore. I was just an ATM. He only remembered me when he had hefty bills to pay or a new hobby to fund. After our dad passed away, the business was put in both our names, but Samir showed zero interest. He only showed up to collect the profits. I handled everything alone. Whenever the business took a loss, he'd pin the blame on me. I put up with it quietly just to keep the peace in the house. Last year, Samir decided on an expensive destination wedding and expected me to foot 80% of the bill because it's an older brother's duty. I agreed without thinking much of it, but what happened in August broke my patience for good. My wife, who was 8 months pregnant, suddenly fell down the stairs. It was an absolutely terrifying time for us. We had to rush her to the hospital, and the doctors put her on strict bed rest. We were having sleepless nights, and I was completely focused on taking care of my wife and our unborn baby. During all this, while I was literally standing in line to pay a hospital bill, Samir called. I thought he was checking in on my wife, but he barely went through the motions before demanding I instantly transfer 2 lakh rupees so he could import some special flowers from Italy. He even made a snide remark that because of the hospital situation, I was neglecting his wedding prep. That phone call was a wake-up call for me. I thought about my sick wife, my unborn child, and all the years I spent carrying Samir's financial and mental weight. I told him I'd think about it and hung up. The very next day, I went to the bank and closed the joint account I had set up for his wedding. I withdrew all the money and put it into a secure fund for my wife and baby. I decided right then that I was done being a part of his selfishness. When the event planner told him the payment didn't go through, Samir called me furiously. He asked how I could leave him high and dry at the last minute just to humiliate him. I told him I'd been waiting for years for him to figure things out, but I'd finally had enough. He accused me of being jealous of his happiness and claimed my wife's medical emergency was just an excuse to save a buck. I calmly told him that during the hardest, scariest time of my life, his only concern was his wedding flowers. I reminded him of every single time he had used my money but never had my back when I needed it. He went quiet, then he said I was punishing him for his careless nature. I made it clear that this wasn't a punishment. It was just a decision about what my priorities were now. I hung up. The next day, our mom called in tears, saying I was tearing the family apart and begging me to forgive Samir because he's your little brother. I told her my decision was final and I wasn't opening that fund again. He can pay for the wedding himself or postpone it, but it's not my responsibility anymore. I don't hate Samir. Maybe it was my own fault for being his shield and letting him get this spoiled, but some people move through the world only knowing how to take, without giving a damn about what it costs the person giving it. Once that reality hits you, stepping back is the only option left.